February 15th, 2020 marks the 10-year anniversary of AK Films. It's incredibly hard to believe that it was 10 years ago when I was 9 years old that I started my YouTube channel. Because this journey doesn't start right when I started my YouTube channel. It starts even years before that, when I was really young and I discovered that I liked filmmaking. So as a special video for the 10-year anniversary, I'm going to go way back into the past and talk about where I started, where my YouTube channel started, and how it's continued ever since. This is where it started. Yup, that is me when I was 4 years old. My dad was using this cassette camcorder to record my birthdays, but I had a fascination with it and wanted to record myself. So, one day he handed me the controls, and that changed my life forever. For many years, this cassette camcorder was my outlet for creativity. I wasn't really the drawery or artsy type, so this was the opening for me to make whatever I want. It was once after I got the internet connection that I finally saw YouTube. It was my dream to have a YouTube channel in the future so I could finally share my content. Then in 2008, I was finally introduced to the world of Legos. One of the neighbors next door had a Lego City police headquarters set, and I was blown away. It was something that I've never seen before. And at that time, I was into Hot Wheel cars and little trinkets or whatever, but Legos was something so cool that I needed it. And of course, me being curious, I started looking up Legos onto YouTube. And that's how I found out about Lego stop motions. In my Q&A video, I had mentioned that there was 3 channels that inspired me, but technically there was 4. The channels are Beast Squarkle Housing, Tom and Joe Twins, the Ridge Gearhead, known back in the day as Gearhead the Man, and Burrow Dizzy Studios. These channels are what inspired me to do Lego stop motion. But at the time, I really wasn't allowed to have a YouTube channel. My parents didn't want me to create one and they wouldn't help me out. So I had to wait a couple of years, until one day my uncle came up to me and said, "Do you want a YouTube channel?" Which of course I agreed. And that's when it started. February 15th, 2010.
Okay, here we go. Oh!
Back then, my YouTube channel was called Alex K Videos 1, and it was essentially my dumping ground for all the videos that I made, like cat videos or crashing cars or whatever. It really wasn't about Legos or Lego stop motions. Now, all of these videos were being recorded on my Flipshare camera. Since I couldn't make stop motions on the Flipshare camera, I decided to use a cassette tape. So all of these stop motions you're seeing are essentially me pressing the record button and then pressing it really quickly back on that cassette camera, essentially taking like a picture to make the stop motions. But because it was analog, I did not have a digital copy of this footage, so I couldn't put it on YouTube. It all changed in 2012 when I finally got the proper equipment. It was a bundle called Honest Tech Claymation 3.0 Deluxe. It not only came with software, but it also came with this doggy camera. Now with the proper equipment, I could finally make stop motion videos and upload them to YouTube. It was clear that if I wanted to continue on this stop motion path, I had to redesign my channel. So over the years, when I started integrating more into making Lego stop motions and Lego videos, that older content disappeared, and that's why my channel has now got renamed, originally renamed to AK Films Productions. And from there, the story is simple. I continue making stop motions, getting more subscribers, and improving on my content. While I would love to talk about each and every video I made, I want to go over what I saw were my successes and my failures through this 10-year journey on YouTube. For me, one of the successes was my Don't Text and Drive. This was definitely more of a milestone than any of them because I had to not only switch from a new camera, but I switched to a new frame rate. 15 frames a second to 30. And that's not an easy transition from going with essentially double the frame rate. Plus, with the new camera, I had to get used to how it worked and how it functioned. What's even better about this is that I entered this video into Gearhead Demand's stop motion contest and got second place. Not only that, but I showed this video off to my middle school. They had a presentation about the school and stuff like that, and I was able to show it at the end. That video was definitely a big achievement for me. However, with this successful video, there was one video that I had that I never liked, and I never liked how it turned out. It was Lego Shootout. This video was a change of what I used to do because I was focusing on cars and stuff like that. So when I switched to weapons and the shootout, it was a different change and I didn't know how to do that properly. And I felt like the video just didn't come out how I wanted it to. So I felt like that I had to redeem myself and I had to make something that was much better. And that's why I made Lego SWAT Bank Heist. Now that's a video that I still love to this day, and I think it came out so good. I am very impressed that I was able to put that together, and it felt really cohesive, and I liked every element of it. And it's one of my first stop motions to hit 10,000 views. But then after that, I had another misstep. Many may not know about it because I quickly realized that the feedback I was getting was pretty negative. What was it? Well, it was a Patreon page and a GoFundMe to get me a Canon Rebel T6i. I wanted to test the waters to see if people would donate money to give me the camera, but obviously that did not pan out well, and neither did my Patreon page. I wasn't trying to be greedy or scummy or whatever, but it definitely came off that way, and I do apologize. I'm definitely sorry about that, and I'm sorry about not addressing it at that time because I thought I would just sweep it underneath the rug. But I want to make sure that I come out clean so the people who saw that don't have that wrong assumption of me anymore. But we aren't ending on a low note. Fully Automatic was probably the most ambitious video I had ever made, and I'm not sure if I will ever top it. Fully Automatic was essentially my last big video before I went off to college. But because of me stumbling through it and dragging my feet, it dragged out for essentially a year and a half. I started it in 2018, the summer of 2018, and then ended in the winter of 2019. Out of all my videos, people have been the most impressed with that and absolutely blown away. And although I knew that it wasn't going to get as many views as my other videos because it's definitely very niche, I am still incredibly proud I made it. It was a process I hated, and I grew to hate the video when I was making it and I finally finished it. But now after hearing all the love and support I got from the video, I finally accepted the video for what it is, and it was truly amazing. So in 2020, where does this leave my channel? As you may know, I am in college currently, but even so, I want to make sure that I continue making my content. I know there's a bunch of channels that fizzle out once they hit the college era, but I don't want to do that. I still want to continue making Lego stop motions for my audience and for myself. I hope to have another 10 great years in YouTube. That is it for this special anniversary video. I will see you next time.